Hey everyone, it's DanDanDee and Shazam 2. I actually really liked it. I have seen a lot of people not liking this movie, and mainly just children, and that could be because I pretty much am a child when it comes to these kind of movies. I love superhero movies, but as of late, superhero movies just haven't been done great. Here's a few examples. I am gonna deviate from the path of literally everyone else because I think this movie was great, actually. I actually really loved it. I think I liked it a little bit better than the first one, honestly. Now, with the first one, pretty much the only big complaint I have with the first one is the villain. The villain fucking sucks in the first one. He's terrible. His whole motivation is, I'm not pure of heart, and I look like sands. The new one, like, the villains in this one are waves better than the first one, but they're still not great. Like, their powers seem very underdeveloped, and like, in fact, this whole movie just feels kind of underdeveloped in a way. Like, it feels like the starting idea they had for it, as they were like beginning to flesh it out, but there were just a lot of things that they did not flesh out really a lot. And that's pretty much where my biggest complaints come in. The characters are still great, as in the first one, and this is where I hear a lot of complaints from the movie, which I think is fucking stupid. People are saying that the movie's not as cute as the first one because the kids are all grown up. What did you think would happen to their children they age after 4 years? And besides, that opens up to new possibilities of new arcs, which they went along with. I don't want to get into too much spoilers, but there is this whole little neat arc that I like with Billy. He guys know his story, I'm sure, if you've seen the first one. He got abandoned by his mother and his father, so he naturally has abandonment issues, and they go into that in this movie. And it's done really well. Billy's almost 18, so he's afraid that once he ages out, they're gonna kick him out of the house. Naturally due to his abandonment issues. So he's afraid that everyone's gonna leave him, so he's trying his hardest to keep his family together. And when he sees that people are going out on their own, he gets really afraid that that's gonna be it. They're gonna leave him forever. Because this is, like, the first time he's really found, like, a family, like, a real family for him, And he feels as if the powers he's been given weren't, like, meant for him. He feels like he's not worthy for the powers still, He has the case of imposter syndrome. He doesn't feel like he belongs in the family. He doesn't feel like he belongs in the world. He doesn't feel like he deserves the powers that he's been given. So he tries to make up for that, and that goes throughout the course of the movie, kind of with the arc that he has in the final battle, which, by the way, is great. The final battle slaps. Way better than the first one. Though it was really, like, fucking dark. Like, I don't know what's with, like, these new recent, like movies and just, like, the final battles being dark. Like, but yeah, that's pretty much the only complaint I have for the final battle, is that it was just dark. It was hard to see. So the story itself is pretty good, actually. I like the story a lot. It, of course, the villains still not strong, and they're not definitely at the strongest part of this movie. The villains want to avenge their father and their mother, and just, like, bring magic back to their realm and get the magic that was taken from them back, But the magic they show just isn't very cool and just kind of underdeveloped. Like, the villains felt kind of powerless at times, Like, if this movie was longer and, like, I liked the villains. They just were very underdeveloped. Though the dragon in the movie looks fucking badass. It's one of the best CGI dragons I've ever seen. Like, I think that's probably where most of their CGI budget went into. I think the dragon looked fantastic. But of course, just like in the first one with the 7 deadly sins, they can't really get the CGI on, like, kind of like more minor character monsters great. Like, they can't really make it look great as well as they could. And, like, at the end of the movie, during, like, the third act, there's, like, these monsters that are just kind of, I don't know how to say it much without spoiling it, but they show up, and they're not really intimidating, But something I really did like, which I'm fucking tired of seeing this in movies, is, like, they did it in Black Adam, is where they just show, like, just civilians, like, fighting, like, the monsters. Like, dude, I don't want to see that. I don't care about the civilians. They're not the main point of this movie. It's the superheroes. I want to see the superheroes do cool superhero shit. And that's what we got, We didn't get to see lame-ass, stupid-ass, bum-ass civilians fighting the monsters, And I'm glad. I like that. I'm happy. Just like the whole thing with Billy's mom in the first one, the most emotional, like, heartbreaking scene in the movie, they did something similar in this one, and I think it was done great. But it was kind of like the opposite. I don't know how to really describe this without getting into spoilers, but it wasn't the fact that his mom didn't want him. It was just the fact that he was scared that his new mom didn't want him. She did her mom's speech, she did her mom things, and it was really like emotional and beautiful, really, actually. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil what happens, but it was really sweet. The wizard in this movie he's fun, but like I feel like we just didn't get enough. Like he was a big like he played like a pivotal role in it. I feel like we didn't like, see the parts of him that I would have liked to see more, you know? And I'm just kind of jumping all around the place. But back to the dragon. The dragon, they hype up the dragon, be like the eater of worlds, like he's the fucking Alduin of this fucking like universe, right? And he doesn't do much. Dragon's just kind of there, just to be cool, you know? Like sure, he plays a part in the like the dragon's not really like a character. It's just kind of like an obstacle that they have to, you know, like it's just like something that the villains use to be more intimidating than they wouldn't really be originally. But like the dragon, we don't get to see the dragon do much. Like if we got to see the dragon, like, cause like all these monsters, like as you can see in the trailer, all these monsters and the dragon were like unleashed upon like our world, like their world, you know, like the fucking world. But like we didn't like the dragon just goes to the stadium where like the final battle takes place, you know. The dragon just doesn't do much. Like the dragon just kind of chills throughout it. But and really like one of my just like some nitpick that I have that just is really annoying. It was in the trailer, the scene where Freddy and the character's name is what was her name? Her name was Anthea, and they're kind of like screaming at the dragon, and the dragon just keeps walking closer and closer and closer, and the villain on top of the dragon, like riding the dragon, she's like, kill them, like. What are you doing? Like, fucking, you're a dragon, breathe fire, and we get to see the dragon breathe fire. Like, the dragon just keeps just like, oh, I'm gonna do it. Oh, I'm gonna do it. Oh, don't test me, I'm gonna do it. Like, just do it! Like, that's the whole thing dragging for like 30 seconds, where you had every chance to just kill them and breathe fire upon them, but the dragon just keeps walking closer and closer and closer. Like, it was so stupid. Yeah, I say the first act of this movie was great. It had like that adventurous style to it, you know, great exposition, great world building, great setting up the plot. The second act of this movie is where it kind of like goes down a little bit, actually kind of a lot. Like the whole second act of this movie just drags on, you know, like it's just things are taken back, like it just keeps going back and forth, and it's just really annoying. And then the third act is when they're like, ha, gotcha, and then like punches you in the face with just great filmmaking, I guess. I don't know. Like the final battle was just awesome. It's where like the movie really got like serious, you know, like throughout the movie they didn't really take a lot serious except for like the serious parts, but even then, like that's another minor complaint I have with the movie, is that the characters didn't really take the movie too, like the whole plot too seriously. But then the ending hit, and then like it gets emotional, and like everyone takes it seriously. It diverts your expectations in a great way. Like it's something that all superhero movies do. I'm not gonna spoil what, but they really like divert your expectations in a great way, and you're like, oh my god, did they actually do that? And then yeah, it's fucking great. And then there's a cameo at the end, who I'm not gonna say who, because it's fucking awesome. Also, the music in this movie, pretty good. This is all I have to say about the song. It's a pretty good track. But that's about it all I have to say. Overall, I give this movie like I'd say like an 8.5 out of 10. Just if the characters like took it a little more seriously and the villains were just a little better, if everything was just flushed out more and just developed like more, it probably would have been a 9 or 9.5. But I'm just gonna give it just a solid safe 8.5 out of 10, you know. And that's about it. Go check out my other videos if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.